Alright, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another part of my playthrough of Angels with Scaly Wings. Tonight, I am going to try yet again to get Remy's good ending. Now, I've tried this 2 times before, and I did manage to salvage it by getting other characters' good endings, but I've been ultimately trying to get Remy's good ending. And I think I understand what I've been doing wrong. So, you remember that Vera girl that shows up at the grocery store, right? I think what I'm doing wrong is I think I'm supposed to meet up with her on Chapter 2 as well as Chapter 3. I'm supposed to go to the grocery store on Chapters 2 and 3. I think that's what I'm doing wrong. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to try once more to get this. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's skip ahead. Okay. We will meet up with Remy. No, don't skip. I don't want to chance it not doing something correct. Okay, so better be safe than sorry. Because one of the dialogue trees that I was supposed to be able to say did not pop up. I think it's because I missed a crucial scene with Vera. It's essential that I follow her in Chapter 3. Sounds like the kind of thing I'd like. Miss About Humans. Alphabetically. Sounds very intuitive. Alright, now we have to put the books in the correct order. Good news is, I'm getting very good at going through these scenes at this point. First is Inception. Second is the First War. The third is the Tribe. Fourth is the Second War. Fifth is the Invention. Sixth is the Spark. Then the Third War, then the Enlightenment. Okay. So this one does not matter. Just go with, didn't know I had have this much fun in the library. Let's go with that one. Sure thing. Then we have to apologize for destroying all of his invaluable objects. Good job. Look on his face there. Yeah, thanks for not giving a shit about me. Okay, we're gonna skip. Actually, I am. Gonna skip to the next scene. Pretty cool. Nothing supernatural. Speechless when I saw you. Okay, we'll go ahead and just wait. Wait some more. And wait again. Look at his computer. Skip ahead through that. See, I told you I'm getting pretty good at this. I think I broke it. I got bored. Actually, I do. Alright, and then human miss. I'd like to know more about your human miss. Okay, now we must order some lunch. I'm also going through somebody else's playthrough of this. Somebody else actually kind of went through this a little bit. So there's a guy on YouTube. I want to give him credit. N2O Jason. He did a video called "Let's Get Remy's Good Ending." Angels with Scaly Wings, Stream 3, Remy's Good Ending, a couple years ago. So I'm kind of using him as a bit of a reference point as well to help kind of guide me through this, because I really want to get it this time. I really want to get Remy's ending. Okay. Okay, so now... So I'm swapping through tabs on my phone so I know all of the deans, everything you're supposed to say to her, and everything you're supposed to say to Remy. I'm swapping through like 3 tabs right now. One's to sort the books, the other's just a main guide about the game and all their characters, and then the other one is further down the list so I can hop swap through it to show everything you're supposed to say to a dean. So I've got 3 tabs open on my phone. Okay, so let's go ahead and... So this part doesn't matter. Say likewise. Let's invite her in. We will not skip because I don't want it to potentially screw something up. I don't really know 100% how the skipping stuff works in this game. I don't know if it just keeps everything neutral. I'm not sure. So I'd rather play it safe. Especially since this is my 3rd attempt to get Remy's ending. Maybe there's more to it. Well, can you? Nothing special. Most overqualified. Delivery flyer. Awesome. And watch that. Yeah, so we already got her good ending in the last part. So that's how I was able to salvage the last playthrough I did, is since I knew I wasn't going to be able to get a Dean's good ending, or Remy's good ending, I mean, because I knew I must have screwed something up, so I figured I would just go for her since she was already on impressed terms, and she was obviously easier to get the ending, so I just went ahead and did that. Because I got to get them all anyway, so it was not a big deal. But this time around, though, if I screw this up, it's all for nothing. You know, I'll just have to do it all over again. And this part would be essentially useless. So So it doesn't look like this matters too much. We'll just say, well, what did you expect? Noble creatures. Is awesome. Wasn't really my kind of thing. I'll check it out. I have the time. Yes. We'll just keep saying yes. Sure. Well, you started it. Okay. So we'll just ask, what is your most guarded secret? World peace. What do you do if you were invisible for a day? We'll just go with that. Say my goodbyes and hope for the best. That's that. Okay. No, don't skip. Alright, let's use that reference sheet here again. Okay, so right off the bat, get that investigation going on. Can't skip this, so let's just manually kind of fast forward through this. Sure, sign me up. Okay. Wow, man, skipping just saves so much time. Yeah, this doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. Okay, now, right off the bat, we need to go to the grocery store. Yes. That's what this dude did, this N2O Jason guy. That's the first thing he did, is he went to the grocery store, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. And we should run into Vera here. She should come in. Let's go ahead and ask about her. I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but... maybe that's important, just even knowing her name. Yes, go ahead and do that for us. Sure, why not? Okay, go ahead and browse. I don't think it really matters too much. Just examine everything. hell that's about. Still don't really understand that, but okay. Definitely still more to this game that we need to understand. Alright, well, now we can leave, and then we need to go to the library. Okay. 1 second. Alright. I don't think this part matters. We need to mention a dean. Don't know if that matters, if I'm supposed to or not. Hang on 1 second. I don't see anything about it not mentioning that, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Okay. Let's go ahead and go through all the dialogue with that. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and skip this. I don't think anything useful comes out of this. Just pretty much skip to chapter 3 at this point. Use the skip function 10 times, you skipper. Fast forward, jump ahead in time 10 times. Okay. Okay. So, I guess now we can go ahead and meet with Remy for our second meeting with him. Okay, so we're supposed to say it's no problem, really. Hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah. Looks like, alright. Sorry about that. Anyways, is there anything particular you'd like to eat? We can just say anything, pretty much. Anything will do. Okay, skip ahead with this. Now, this is important. We need to examine the picture 3 times, which I did do the last couple times. I did try to get his ending, but yeah, don't want to miss this because this is very important. Okay, so now we're supposed to say, I suppose so. This part doesn't matter. We'll ask him if he lives here by himself. Now, okay, this is... Do we mention the pictures or not? Let me examine another guide here that I have. Okay, do I mention the pictures? It doesn't say I can or can't. We'll mention the pictures. Yeah, I don't think this part matters. I hope it doesn't. Really hope it doesn't. Really want to get this damn ending tonight. Alright, so we'll just say yes. We won't even mention the murders. No, don't want to skip. Don't want to miss anything. It is delicious. Yeah, it says there's an option to mention Anna, then I agree, but once again, though, we haven't talked to Anna at all, so that's not even an option this time around. I don't think that's gonna matter, though. God, I hope not. I don't know how I could, though, because if I'm visiting with Adine, then it's not gonna be possible, right? So this doesn't matter. I like the people. Glad to hear it. Wouldn't mind playing. I agree. That's what I meant. Up for some dessert. I don't think this part matters. We'll help him. See if this makes a difference. Yeah, he insists on doing it himself. And yeah. But yeah, you don't need to apologize. Say you should resign, consequences be damned. Let's see what he says to that. It's easier said than done, but maybe I should consider it. Okay. Alright. Okay, so let me go back to the... If I don't get it this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a guide. I'm going to, step by step, write down every little thing I need to do. And use that as my own guide. Like, I'm going to combine a bunch of shit together to get this. But I really do believe it's that I didn't go to the grocery store in Chapter 2. I seriously think that's all it was. That could have been it. It really could have. But let me go back to this, and let me just briefly look at this. Kind of scrolling through the video to see what he does next. So it looks like he meets up with Adine again. Okay, so that's what we're going to do then. Meet with Adine. Okay, and so this part should be pretty important, actually. No, don't skip. Alright, what a shame. Very nice of you. Just don't focus on the bad things. Not sure what to expect. You decide. Bringing a fire. Wasn't so bad. This part doesn't matter, I guess. Here we go, wasn't so bad. Why not? Okay. I'm gonna ice cream with sprinkles. Stay-at-home parent. What a shame. Looking forward to it. This part doesn't matter. We'll say future. So we don't need to be impressed status with her. We just need to be on good terms with her, really. So I'm probably overthinking this part, but I'm just trying to play this safe, you know. Let's say this is very generic. I can finally put it in the trash where it belongs. Whole lot of dialogue there. I can try. Okay, now we are in chapter 3. Alright. So, this is going to be important. Now, immediately, the first thing we need to do, we need to go to the store once again. And let's see if this changes this time. I hope so. Can't actually skip this, so I'm just going to do it manually. Yeah, you can tell just by the dialogue changes that how she feels about you. Whole lot more dialogue. Okay, visit the store. Oh, it's her again. if you've mixed up prescriptions again, then I can't help you. I can't refill this one. We're just about to close, so you'll have to bring the right one tomorrow. Hello, Prince. How can I help you? Actually, I'm just about to close up here, so please make it quick. I'm here on behalf of the police, and I was hoping that you could answer a few questions. I see. Well, I don't mind as long as you make it quick. I have to leave for my other job soon. Vera, what are you still doing here? I already told you. You have to come back tomorrow. Here, have a lolly on the house. Guess she doesn't want it. What's the deal with her? I'm not sure what's up with her lately. This isn't the first time this has happened. One time the doctor forgets to issue a new prescription, another time she brings me an expired one instead of the new one. She isn't exactly the brightest, but this is unusual, even for her. So, what did you want to know? There we go! Follow Vera, yes, okay. Okay, so that's what I was missing. That's gotta be it. It was the fact that I didn't show up at the store in Chapter 2. I didn't know that because I didn't see the guy mention that at all. So it wasn't until I watched this guy's video, this N2O's Jason guy's, and I was kind of scrolling through his video, that I saw that he did that in his playthrough of this. So I'm like, maybe that's what I need to do. And yeah, looks like I was right, so. Actually, excuse me. Sorry, but we'll have to do this another time. If you say so. Okay. So, this is all new territory right here. Luckily, she hadn't gotten too far, so I followed her from a distance. Minutes pass as we walk through streets weaving through an unfamiliar part of town. The young dragon looks small and lonely on the empty road. Before long, we passed the village border, yet she pressed on and stepped into the forest. I turned back once to gaze at the village on the far horizon, and in an instant the dragon was gone. I rushed to the spot I'd seen her last and found the entrance to a cave on a hillside. When I peered inside, oh my god, this is that laboratory that the administrator uses. When I peered inside, I saw Vera alongside a much larger orange dragon. The small dragon filled a bowl with a thick fluid and placed it front of the other. Then she placed her hands on the large dragon's chin. Gently, she lifted its huge muzzle and guided it towards the bowl. But when she released it, the dragon's head slumped and fell into the liquid. The bowl tumbled sideways and spilled its contents across the cave floor. Damn. I realized then that other than what Vera had done, the orange dragon hadn't moved at all since I arrived. How did you even find out about this? I could tell something was wrong, so I followed her. I see. Well, good job, Prince. What's going to happen to her now? She'll be sent to the orphanage. The background check determined that she had a father, but the two hadn't seen each other in years. Can't you locate him? We did. Raz's second victim, the maintenance guy. That was him. I see. How did he even get this far? I don't know, but we'll certainly look into it. Some just fall through the cracks of the system. Being out here on their own probably didn't help. Do many of your people live outside the town like this? Well, some do it on principle, others because they have no other choice. Houses and apartments can be expensive, and it's not unusual for us to see natural environments as our homes. Alright, I think we're done here for now. Don't forget to stop by the department later. I won't. You followed Vera. Well done, Prince. Yes. Stalker. I'm a stalker. Alright. Winsophone is an internet predator. Alright. So, now that crucial scene has taken place, let's see what I need to do next. So it looks like hold on. So... right off the bat, after this scene is over, I guess. Hold on 1 second. Now we'll just skip through this. I think that's when we need to meet up with Remy, right? Wait a minute. Hold up. So he actually went to the portal in his playthrough. I don't know if that makes a difference. I've never actually done that before, though. But I guess it won't screw up the playthrough, so I'm actually... Fuck, I can't, can I? Oh, damn, I can't re-choose. I hope that doesn't fuck anything up. I really hope it doesn't fuck anything up. That would be really disappointing. So... I guess this doesn't matter. And we can just meet up with Remy. So okay, so this does not matter. We'll just wait it out then. Okay. So, meet up with Remy. And let's go ahead and take a look here. This will be the third one. Oh, hang on. You can... So we should be able to mention that he wanted children at this point. Let me check the status. Okay, so we're on good status with him. Adine is impressed. So let's meet with Remy. And... No, I don't want to skip. Hey, Remy. Alright, so... Can't say I have. It's pretty romantic. I used to. We have a lot of time. Skip that. Aha! There we go. Right there. I remember you said that you always wanted children. Yes. It's not exactly the same thing, but I heard that the orphanage is always looking for more volunteers. You could help take care of those children. Is that so? Yeah, the orphanage is notoriously understaffed. The children don't really have anyone else, so each volunteer is a godsend. Losing both parents at such a young age must be horrible. I can't even imagine what that must be like. You should talk to Adine about volunteering. She knows a lot more about it than I do. Adine? I don't want to talk to her. Why not? She used to be my friend. Well, she was more Amelia's friend than mine. Why can't you talk to her? I don't know. I don't want to face her. Whenever I see her, it's another reminder of what I lost. Besides, I don't think she wants to talk to me either. I think if you wanted to volunteer, she'd gladly accept the help. Besides, I saw that she tried to talk to you the other day. You saw that? I guess she did try to talk to me, but it was only because she wanted something. I don't think that was the only reason. Maybe she wanted to reconnect with you. If she wanted to avoid you, she could have asked someone else at the library for help, but she chose you. I'm not sure about that. Maybe she actually feels the same way you do, and the map helped her muster up the courage to face you again. If you want to change something, Remy, you have to take action. What's the worst that could happen if you talk to her? I suppose you have a point. I'll think about it. Thank you, Prince. Getting all that off my chest already helped a lot. No problem, Remy. Anything else on your mind? Well, there's the whole thing about Anna. Yeah, you mentioned that last time. Are you still worried about her? I am. Who knows what horrible things she's working on in her lab. There's nothing I can do to stop her. You did what you could. The rest is up to the authorities now. I guess so. I can't help but feel a little pity for her, too. With her condition, I imagine that the Ministry's disapproval must have been a tough pill to swallow. What are you talking about? She has cancer. I see. Who knows how much longer she has? Knowing that, every day must be difficult for her. Remy paused and gave me an embarrassed smile. Quite a bit of time has passed since you arrived, and you've barely been able to speak. I've been talking a lot. No, we don't want to skip. Reading something here, hang on. Okay, so in chapter 4, we need to drop off the eggs at the hatchery. Okay. I don't mind. Must be a lot on your mind, too. So... oh, there is. Since I worked with Emiria, I know all the details surrounding you and Raza. Not many do. Many rumors are going around town. All this time, you've been working with our police? Yeah. And now you're hunting the person who was supposed to be your partner. That must be really hard for you. I came here because I wanted to do the right thing. Nothing about that has changed. What kind of person is Raza, anyway? The kind that stops at nothing to achieve what he believes in. I can see that. We've already witnessed just how far he will go. What do you think about him? Honestly, I'm not sure. Back home, this relentless quality of his was admired, but I certainly don't condone his actions. Given what I know about him, I think he must have a reason, as weird and twisted as it may be. And what about you? I have my own principles. I see. How is your hunt for Raza going, anyway? Not too great. We don't have any strong leads or any idea of his whereabouts. In the end, we're just following his trail of murder and destruction. People are getting afraid. The rumors are starting to take effect. I thought Emiria was going to give a press conference to warn the public. That didn't happen. She feared the potential backlash if people knew about Raza while you were still here, so for the time being, he has been declared as a missing person. The public has been informed that if someone sees him, they are to call the police immediately. They were told he may be suffering from an affliction that makes him behave erratically. But some people are putting two and two together. No one has seen Raza for a while, even before he was officially declared missing. It's easy to line up the timelines and see that the murders started happening shortly after he vanished. What we know about the break-ins and thefts is also damning. The objects stolen all point towards Raza. I'm not sure how much longer they can keep this a secret. How do you think the public will react, considering that I am still staying here? I don't know. We can't really predict the public opinion, but you can bet there will be critical voices. I'm not sure how I can convince everyone that I'm not involved with Raza's plans. Well, you do have the Council's support. If Emiria voiced that you were on our side, it wouldn't be so bad if the public found out. Yeah, but she also made it clear that she believes most people won't have the same opinion. She won't support me publicly if their vote is against me. That is true. Emiria plays the political game a lot. She aligns with the popular opinion so people will like her. It's very dishonest. It is, but that's who she is. Does the public know about the portal's current state? No. If it can be fixed, it wouldn't be worth mentioning. And if they can't fix it, they aren't going to announce it before they know how to deal with the current situation. Compared to Raza, it's not really a problem. It might become one pretty soon. If word gets out and I'm suddenly his accomplice, what would happen to me? How would you even deal with Raza if you caught him? I'm not sure. I suppose we would have to work something out between our legal system and whatever humanity has to say on the matter. And if the portal is done for, what then? Then humanity would be out of the picture for any legal proceedings. Raza would likely be held until contact has been re-established or just serve a sentence here. I see. How do your jails work anyway? Well, if a crime has been committed and proven without a doubt, a jail sentence can be the consequence. Our delinquents live in an area separate from the rest of society, monitored at all hours of the day. They receive the help they need, and efforts are taken to make them realize their wrongdoings and integrate them back into our community. Life isn't that much different there than it is here. The spaces are more cramped, for sure, but mostly it is just a very controlled environment. That's not much of a punishment. It is a consequence, not necessarily a punishment. Our society at large benefits more from people who are rehabilitated, and if mental issues are the cause, those can at least be found and addressed. That sounds like how it used to be back home. These days, in our city, you get 3 strikes. What does that mean? 3 infractions of our rules and you get thrown out of the city. If someone is a drain on our limited resources, we won't support them. Well, I can understand why you needed to incorporate such a policy. The finality of it makes me a bit uneasy. It has worked so far, and it's not as if the outside is completely unkind. Someone expelled from the city might find a different community, or join one of the mobile groups. The situation inside our city-state is still much better than the outside, though. They're very strict with those allowed to live there. It is a privilege. Anyone or anything that threatens the inside society or the lives of its people is removed very quickly. How would a murderer like Raza be dealt with? An eye for an eye? No, we don't do that, but murder is a crime so heinous that immediate expulsion is the consequence, regardless of prior infractions. I see. What do the citizens think about this system? Some agree with the methods, some don't, but as long as it works, people won't complain. Weeding out undesirable elements is what keeps their standard of living intact. I guess that means politics don't play a big role where you come from. No, they won't change a working system. It varies here, but I'm so tired of Amira and her games. As I work with her, I could see exactly how she plays the public. I know every council member has their own approach, but everything she does is so tailored towards the public's expectations. For her, it's just a popularity contest. You know what? That gives me an idea. Really? What is it? The human visit, and all of the associated consequences are her responsibility, right? Yes. For her, this situation with Raza must be utterly horrifying. She keeps talking about preventing public backlash, but she's really just trying to protect herself. That sounds accurate. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. How? She can't send me back to my world right now. That makes me the only one here with knowledge of Raza, and humans in general. That's true. If I speak from this point of authority, we should have a much easier time convincing her of anything we want. You couldn't convince her to let you stay in our world, though. Yes, but I was trying to use reason and plead with her. I didn't take into account her fear of public backlash. I think we can manipulate this fear of hers and use it to our advantage. If there were consequences to fear from Raza, me, or the rest of humanity, and those consequences would make her look bad to the public, that would be reason for her to reconsider any action, right? I suppose so, but what situation could this apply to? She nearly sent me back through the portal. If she tries anything again, at least we have something we can use against her. I think I see where you're coming from. Raza is still a mystery to me, though, all things considered. Wouldn't it be beneficial for him to just stay here? No offense, but even our prisons offer a better standard of living than your city. As such, couldn't that be a reason for him to have vandalized the portal? I don't think so. You're right, your world is in much better shape than ours, but even if Raza could stay here, he wouldn't. He came here for the same reason I did, to help our people. He has a very pronounced sense of duty to humanity, and I believed in him when he stepped through the portal. He proclaimed that he would do everything he could. When I met him again in this world, I had the impression that he wanted to get our mission over with as soon as possible so we could return to our world with aid. That's going to be difficult with the portal out of order. The person who did it probably didn't realize it wasn't a very good idea. This might make Raza even more desperate. Who knows what he will do next? And if anything happens, I can't leave either. If the portal is gone for good, I suppose you'd have to stay here. What do you think about that? So, I'd love living here. I'd love living here. Everything I've heard about this place is so wonderful compared to back home. That's good to hear. I certainly wouldn't mind if you stuck around. Only now do I realize that everything I told you earlier must seem so petty compared to the struggles you face. Don't say that. Why not? That's not how it works. That's like saying a person can't be happy because someone else might be happier than them. Don't downplay your own suffering like that. That kind of thinking only makes it worse. Thanks, Prince. I can't even imagine what life must be like where you are from. Back home, I was just trying to survive and help others do the same. That hasn't changed. I'm almost afraid of going back to the city, though. Times are so rough. Yet, even if I didn't have to go back, I would. I can't just let them down like that, you know? I have to try and do what I can. That's why I came here. I wish I could be that strong. Who says you can't? I don't know. You told me about your old job. Yeah, I miss those days. What about it? It's not exactly the same as saving a city, but you were helping people, right? That's true. Maybe, once your term with Emra is over, you could do something like that again. I really wish I could. Can I ask you a question? Of course. Do you even like me? There must be a reason why you've put up with me for this long. What are you talking about? Do you consider me a friend, or maybe more? So, what am I supposed to say here? Does it really matter? Let's save, and I guess we're gonna find out. I remember seeing somewhere that you're supposed to say, you're supposed to say, I like you as more than just a friend. I actually saw that on another guide, but now I can't find the guide. Go figure. I'll have to search for it again. But I don't know if it's going to matter, but we're going to say this. It doesn't say on this guide. Is that so? In that case, well, the summer festival is coming soon. It's an event we hold in town every year. They've got fireworks and all kinds of shows. It might be fun for you to experience a different part of our culture. What do you say? Would you like to accompany me? I'd love to, but I can't promise I won't have other obligations at the time. I see. Well, I'll call you, and we'll see if we can work it out around our schedules. Okay, so you do get invited if you say that. What if you say... Does that actually matter? What if you just say, I like you as a friend? Ah. So it does matter. It absolutely does matter. You have to say, I like you as more than just a friend. Because if you don't, then he won't invite you to the fireworks. Which is a little creepy, because, I mean, if you're, like, in love with me, like, I'm a human. I'm not even the same species. First off, we're both male. Secondly, we're a different fucking species, okay? So that's a little weird, but, okay. Okay, well that's very strange, but let's go ahead and continue on. It's a gay dragon who's into bestiality, apparently. That's wonderful. Alright, well, at least now we're going to finally get this damn ending. I've been really wanting to get this, so I'm glad that I can finally get it. So now... of course, this had to reload the video. Let's see, right here. Okay, I'm back to where I was. So he goes through that. And where does he go here? I actually have more options open than this guy does, this other guy doing this playthrough. His options are meet with Lorem, meet with Bryce, meet with Adine, or get some well-deserved rest. Mine are meet with Anna, meet with Lorem, meet with Bryce, meet with Adine, or get some well-deserved rest. So that's... I'm not sure why that is. He doesn't have the option to meet with Anna, but I do. I wonder why that is. Either way, we should be at the point now where we're going to get invited to those fireworks with him, or we can call him up, because he did invite us for it, so I think we're good now. I guess we can just... He just ended up hitting, get some well-deserved rest. So we can just go ahead and skip over this. This doesn't matter, apparently. If it does, then we can always go back to that save point. So, all good. No, don't skip ahead. Yeah, so... skip over this. Don't get yourself killed. Alright, now we need to take the eggs to the hatchery. So let's go ahead and do that. This... Hang on a minute. So let's go ahead and do that. Take the eggs to the hatchery. And then we're going to encounter Kevin, right? Don't think this part matters, so I'm just going to skip over this dude. Okay. And then this scene so far is the same. It says it's going to be different. It says you can see the results of this, because it says on Remy's third date mentioned that he wanted children. You can see the results of this if you drop the eggs off at the hatchery in chapter 4. So this dialogue is a little bit different here. By the way, I haven't seen you for a while, and you didn't call me back either. I didn't want to meet you again, damn. And we're gonna say, sorry, I was just busy. Sorry, I was just busy. I'm helping the police department with the investigation, and I still have my ambassador duties to deal with. I didn't have much free time. Oh, I understand. My invitation still stands if you want to come by. Sure, maybe I will. Great! Anyway, I was about to go inside, so I'll take those eggs off your hands. Thanks for bringing them here. No problem. Okay, that wasn't really any different. Not very much, anyway. So, what else do we need to do? Let's go back to this. Okay, I'm a little... Uh-oh, I might have fucked up. His scene is playing out differently. Why is that? I don't understand. What did I do wrong? Yeah, his scene is playing out totally differently. Which means I screwed up somewhere. Oh, son of a bitch. This is not good. I am a little confused. I am on good terms with her, right? Yes. I'm worried that's gonna end up messing up the good ending. It's very likely it will. We should be able to... It says, if your third date with Remy ends badly and you haven't already seen his good ending, drop off the PDA Chapter 4. And then it has a spoiler listed beneath, so... Okay, I don't know if this matters, but hopefully that might help. Yeah, we can just probably skip over this. This is just a really long scene here. Okay. So, Remy's calling us. Hello, this is Remy. I just wanted to remind you about the summer festival. It will start any day now, so I hope you can make it. It'd be nice to go there with you. I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I usually try to avoid the crowds. In any case, please let me know if you want to go. Summer festival, huh? Okay, so I guess we can meet with Remy again? Oh, that must be him. Remy, what's that on your face? Don't you know what it is? Well, it looks like lipstick, but I didn't know that was a thing here. You're right, it is lipstick. It's not something that existed in this world before, though. Oh, God. Oh, no! Remy, no! No! How did you get some, then? I have one of your PDAs, remember? I studied it a bit and came across the entry on lipstick. Based on the necessary ingredients, I realized I could make some myself. And so I did. Did you do this to look pretty for me? I just figured you'd miss these kinds of things. Things that are normal for you. It hasn't really been normal back home in quite a while. Lipstick isn't common these days. Didn't the entry specify that it's typically used by females? Now that you mention it, I did get that impression, but I found the sentiment a bit puzzling. Why would a product like this only be used by one gender? Well, I guess social norms dictate that certain traits are only desirable in one gender, thus highlighting them like this would increase the attractiveness. Oh, I think I get it now. It's all based on sexual dimorphism? I don't even know how to pronounce that. The biological differences between the sexes are much greater in your species than it is in ours, so I suppose the traits you are looking for can be different too. Generally speaking, sexual, however you pronounce that, is much greater in mammals than it is in reptiles. While it can vary widely by species, external indicators are pretty much always present, like memories, for example, an always present and often obvious reminder. This makes so much more sense now. It's kind of embarrassing. Should I get rid of it? Does it matter if you say yes or no? I don't know. Frankly, I want to say yes, but then I don't want to potentially fuck up the ending. You know what we need to do in times like these? We need to save Scum. Save Scum like we're playing Skyrim. Alright, there we go. Alright, so, yes, you should probably get rid of it. Yes, it doesn't really look nice on you. Oh, sorry. Here, that should do it. Shall we go then? Actually, it seems we're pretty early. They're probably still setting up. I see. Well, we could just stay here in the meantime. Oh, for sure. I just realized I haven't actually been here since I prepared the apartment for you. Have you read any of the books I got you? Oh, so you're the one who stocked the bookshelf. They're all library books. I wanted to provide you with a good sample of what we have to offer, so there should be something in there for anyone. Looks like you've read a few books in the Sheridan series? Sheridan series? Again, it's not really specified here. Hang on. Double check. Yeah, it's not specified, so at this point, I think we're good. I think we might have actually got Remy's good ending. I think we might have it in the bag. So, we should be good to say whatever we want at this point. I'm just gonna say that's pretty interesting. Oh, really? I know they're not exactly highbrow, but they're entertaining. What more do you want a book to be? I guess we all have our own tastes. Can I offer you some food or a drink? I've barely used any of the stuff in the kitchen. I did crack like a dozen eggs, though. Wasted a dozen eggs. Why not? I didn't want to touch anything that didn't at least resemble something I know. After all, I have no idea how to prepare them right, or even know if they're safe for me to eat. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to get you all those perishables then. I wanted to provide you with a bit of everything, considering I had to prepare the apartment for someone I didn't really know much about. Oh, some of them were good. It's interesting to taste the subtle and sometimes not so subtle differences in the similar fruits we have back home. Did you throw anything out? Not really. Why do you ask? You've been here for nearly 2 weeks now, so even if some of them were safe for you to eat, they probably aren't anymore. Let me clean out your closet. We don't want to have any health hazards for you here, after all. Well, feel free. Just look at this. He showed me a juicy-looking, vaguely spherical fruit whose bright red color was unlike any other fruit I had ever seen. That's a very bright red. I don't think even our best apples could compare. Well, they're usually blue. Red means you're supposed to throw them away, as they have expired by then and toxins might have already set in. Oh, well, I wasn't planning on eating it anyway. Or this one. It's all moldy. I don't see any mold. Don't you see these spots? Sure, but if that's supposed to be mold, it looks very different from the mold we have back home. I see. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to stock up on perishables. I didn't consider all the implications of doing something like this. Had you eaten the wrong thing, you could be in a hospital right now. Don't stress yourself out about it. Honestly, someone would have to be pretty reckless to just go ahead and start munching on things they don't know about. If anyone was smart enough to be sent here, they probably wouldn't take a risk like that. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Nevertheless, I better get rid of everything that's past its date. We don't really want the mold in the air, either. If you say so. Once more, he dove into the closet. I heard him rummaging around as he checked the fruits and vegetables thoroughly. That should be everything. Thanks. I bet the wine didn't go bad, though. Do you want some? I'm not really a big fan of wine. How come? I just can't enjoy it as some others do, I suppose. I'm willing to try anything at least once, though. Anything? Well, at least as far as food and drinks are concerned. Alright, let's try some together then. Well, if you want to. Sure. What kind of wine is this, anyway? I'm not sure. I just grabbed it when I got all the other stuff. Don't tell me you just went for the cheapest one. Of course not. Everyone knows that you don't just go buy the cheapest stuff. You go for the second cheapest. Oh, well, what kind of container should I get for you anyway? We're having wine, so let's go for wine glasses. The stem actually makes it possible for me to grip it with my vestigial thumb, so there shouldn't be any problems. Alright. Here you go. What shall we drink to? An interesting afternoon, a wonderful friendship, or whatever. How about a wonderful friendship? Alright, to a wonderful friendship. Took a sip from my wine glass. Remy really hadn't been kidding about getting the second cheapest bottle, because that was exactly what it tasted like. How do you like it? It must be an acquired taste, I think. How about you? Either it's bad or it's alright. It's alright. It's okay. I mean, you can't really expect much from a cheap bottle of wine. I see. Just look at the time. I think we could start heading to the festival now. Sure, let's go. This is strange. Usually there'd be a crowd by now. You think they canceled it? With Raza still being out there, maybe they thought it wasn't a good idea to have a public spectacle like this. Cancel the summer festival? Inconceivable. Doesn't really look like a festival is going on right now, though. I don't know what's going on. Hey, I think I know this guy. Let's go and ask him. Hey, Prince, how can I help you? We were just planning to go to the festival, but it doesn't seem like there's much going on here yet. You came to the right place, but the festival is not starting for another hour at least. What? But the festival has always started at this time. You must have missed the memo then. They moved it by an hour. Something about the daylight and making the fireworks more visible as a result. Well, that's a shame. And I'm kinda getting hungry too. I can help you with that. What are you selling? Skewers, meatballs, all kinds of grilled things, really. Well, I could go for some meatballs. How about you? You can see this say just some grilled cheese for me. How about some veggie skewers? Or I'll also take the meatballs. Yeah, guess I'll also take the meatballs. No problem. Just let me pack this up for you. I guess this makes us your first customers of the day. What do I owe you? For you two, it's free. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Have fun at the festival. Thanks. So what do we do now? Should we go back? Well, we're already here and got all this stuff. Let's just sit down somewhere. Sure. We went off to the side as more dragons arrived and started setting up their various booths. How are the meatballs? They're actually pretty good. How about your stuff? It's great. I'm surprised, honestly. You never know with stuff that comes out of food carts. You're right. Maybe we got lucky. Or maybe it's because it's still fresh. Who knows? What was that about fireworks, though? Is the big show coming up later? Oh no, the festival is just getting started, and there are fireworks every day. But the big show is what everyone wants to see. That one is happening in a few days. It officially concludes the festivals. I see. A while later, the festival had kicked off and the crowds were already coming in. Dragons of all shapes and colors filled the paths, ready to see the sights and the festival had to offer. Booths lined both sides of the way. It reminded me a lot of a typical carnival setup, with the booths being filled with shops, food stands, games, and much more. Seems the festival has already started. Let's go. You know what? How about we just stay here? I really don't like crowds. I've seen the festival so many times already. I'd rather just stay here with you. I thought you wanted to show me around, but I suppose we can just stay here if you'd prefer that. The main attraction is always the big fireworks show at the end of the festival, and that one is not going to happen today anyway. So why do we need to come here in the first place then? Is something wrong? I just had to realize that as nice as it is right now, you'll have to leave this world again eventually. I've been alone for such a long time now, I didn't even have a single friend. In my job, I always have to smile when serving the customers. How could I be surrounded by people all the time, yet feel so alone? All those people have their own lives, families, friends, and relationships, yet I had none of that. In a world where everyone else seemed to be happy, I was the odd one out who had to pretend in order to belong. How could that not have eaten away at me, day after day? Yet one day, I heard about the plans of the humans coming here. Like many others, I was very excited at the prospect of our myths coming true. And then the day came when Raza stepped through the portal, amidst all the pomp and fanfare you could imagine. It was quite a sight to behold, really. You wouldn't believe how much joy I felt during that moment. Emira, of course, took all the limelight she could. First, there was a big speech in front of a huge crowd, then a procession after she had officially welcomed Raza. When it was time for you to arrive and it was decided that it wouldn't be a public event this time due to security concerns, I knew that Emira wasn't going to be there if she wasn't able to make it all by herself. I begged her to let me do it, just to be able to get this close to a human at least once, to talk with them and see what they were like, to experience them. She told me that if I did a few favors for her, I could be the one to greet you. I knew that she wasn't going to be there anyway, but if I didn't do what she wanted, she would just send some other lackey instead. So I did everything she asked for. She did keep her word, though, and in the end, I was the one who would introduce you to this little world of ours. It might not seem like much to you, but with just us two and no one else being there, it was something very special for me. It was not just some public spectacle like the summer festival or Raza's arrival, but for the first time in so long, I felt like that moment was about you and me, and no one else. For someone in my position, it just made me very happy to have such an extraordinary thing happen to me. Of course, I was very curious to see how much our myths would line up with reality, and I was even more overjoyed when you visited me in the library. When you accepted my invitation and came into my home, I was just glad to have you there. It seemed like you wanted to be there and weren't just someone out to use me in some way. I began to feel hope. When I met you in the park, I think the only reason I could tell you everything about myself was because I knew you were going to leave again eventually. And now, after all of this, I can hardly believe you're still here with me. Why wouldn't I be? You're just so nice to me. Yet, even after the time I've got to spend with you, it seems that soon I'll have to let you go again. At least I got to know you. And thanks to you, I was also able to reconnect with Adine. Now it just seems so petty to not have spoken with her for such a long time. All those times when I felt alone and depressed, I really was only a phone call away from someone who still cared about me. But now that you have, this also means that your worst times are over. You're not alone anymore. That is true. To some people, it may not matter much if they have one friend, more or less, but you know what makes the biggest difference? Having one when you didn't used to. We even went to the orphanage together some time ago to help with the kids there. It seems one of them has taken quite a liking to me. That sounds lovely. Her name is Vera, and she... Vera? I remember her. You know about her then? It's such a sad story. But enough about me. What will you do once you get back to your own world again? I'm not sure. I don't even know what will happen to me when I return. These last few days, a lot of things have happened that have changed my perspective on what I'm doing here. Raza and those who sent me. Is that a bad thing? I don't know yet. At the very least, though, I can say that I've done what I believed was right. You should be careful with rhetoric like that. What do you mean? That kind of talk makes it very easy to justify any means when it serves the right cause, whatever that may be. The more important thing is, have you done anything that you might regret? No matter what you think, keep in mind that you may be held accountable for your actions by others or even yourself. Don't just do something because you think it's for the right reasons. Do it when you are aware of the possible consequences as well. You're right, I have no way of knowing what my actions here will amount to once I return. Do you really wish to go back to your own world? If I didn't, it would only serve to strain the relationship we've been trying to build with your people here, which is something that could be elementary for our survival. Besides, I didn't do it for those who reign over the city back home, or those who might have wanted to betray me. Let's not forget that even under the worst reigns, there are just normal people trying to survive too. If I have the power to make a difference for them, would it be the right for me to just leave them be in order to seek my own happiness? That's exactly the kind of thing you were talking about, right? In the end, we all have to make our own decisions. If I leave them behind, then I leave them to people like Raza and those who sent me here. What would you want to do? Overthrow them? I don't even have the complete picture myself right now. How could I even consider what to do, given what I know? What I do know, though, is that if I don't do what they expect of me, there will be consequences. Maybe you'll just have to wait and see. That's not an option right now. Raza is still out there, armed and dangerous. Don't you think that's a matter better left to our police force? It could be very dangerous for you to interfere. It's far too late to reconsider. I've already been tangled up in this too much. Besides, I can't stop now. Don't forget how many he has killed already. He won't hesitate to do so again in order to reach his goal. In the end, it's my duty to stop him. If I don't, how would your people look at humanity? How could I face you again, knowing that my negligence could cause suffering and loss for others here if I just stopped now? I wish I could be as brave as you. Don't think bravery has anything to do with it. He must be stopped, one way or another. I know. Just be careful, alright? I'll try. We've been here for a while now. How about I walk you back to your apartment? What about the festival? Well, if you still want to go, we could watch the big firework show together in a few days. That's an idea. Alright, let's do that. I watched Remy as he got up again, stretching himself in a way that reminded me of a cat before we prepared to leave again. Oh, you're still here? How's business? As expected, people always get hungry at these events eventually. Can I offer you some more meatballs? No thanks, I'm quite full from my earlier helping. How about you, Prince? A tempting offer, but we're just about to call it a day. I see. Are you going to watch the big fireworks at the end of the festival? That's the plan. Be sure not to miss it. You haven't seen anything until you see the fireworks. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Because it's true. Anyway, we should probably get going. Have a good day, then. You too. And here we are again. Indeed. You want to clean out my bathroom cabinet as well or something? That's a good one. He gave a big sigh. You know how I feel. I guess I just wanted to make the most of this day. Speaking of which, I've never actually seen you without your tie. Well, actually... How about now? You're pretty cute, you know that? Is that just a term of endearment, or are you actually serious? I'm serious. He looked at me, hesitating. Then he took a step forward, his head slowly moving closer to my own. Oh no! What the hell, man? Okay, we gotta kiss him then. We met and my arms enveloped his neck as our lips touched. Oh god, this is so wrong. For a few seconds we were closer than ever before. During the kiss he used a lot more tongue than I expected. He's literally giving us a French kiss? Are you serious? Wow, who knew that the male dragons in this are far more horny than the female ones? Just after we parted, he finished by giving me a small lick on the cheek. How was that? Unique, that's for sure. Maybe I shouldn't wear the tie anymore if this is what happens when I take it off. Actually, I think you should keep it. Really? Yeah, it looks good on you. Well, if you say so. Anyway, it's getting really late, so I should probably get going now. Don't forget about the fireworks. Oh, for sure. I'll see you then. Until we meet again. Thank you for everything. What the hell? That's weird as hell, man. The dragon is... A male dragon is in love with the human. What? So... Okay, so we can meet with one of the other dragons here, right? Or, I mean, we've definitely got his ending in the bag at this point. What, for better or for worse, we're gonna see what happens. So I guess we can just get some well-deserved rest. Let me go ahead and save again, just in case. But let's get some well-deserved rest and see what happens. In the end, I decided to spend the day relaxing in my apartment. I didn't know when things would start to pick up again, so I figured it would be better to get some rest as long as I still could. Okay. Here it is. Hope. Grief. Chapter 5. Alright. Yes! Yes! We got it! Remy. That must be him. Are you ready to see the fireworks? My body is ready. Is that a reference to... Who's the one that started that meme? It was the Nintendo president, the former Nintendo president. I forget his name. It's a pretty clear reference to him, though. Alright, let's go. This game's crazy, man. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Looks deserted to me. I thought everyone was watching the fireworks. They are, but they're doing it somewhere else. I don't really like the crowds, and I think you would appreciate me leading you here if you knew what they were like. Better be safe than sorry, at any rate. That's what I'm thinking. This reminds me a bit of the night I arrived here. Everything was dark and empty, and it was just us walking through the landscape. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I think it's starting now. Watch. We were quiet as we waited, and the stillness of the night enveloped us. Soon I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public of an event this was, and how I was told multiple times that everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Raza to do anything he planned to do. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever have. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Raza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. Remy, I think we need to go, now. What is wrong, Prince? I know where Raza is. We need to stop him. Shouldn't we call the police or something? We don't have the time. I'm not sure if I could fight him. You're right. If you're there, he probably won't hesitate to shoot. Maybe you can hold him off, and I'll try to get some help. Alright, let's do that. Go. I started running as Remy's voice called out to me. Where is he? Where should I go? The portal! He'll be there! I arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. I couldn't help but be glad that it was still turned off and didn't appear to have been used recently, but it meant Raza was still here, somewhere. I looked around, thinking about where he could be or if it was worth waiting for him here, when I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Hesitating, I drew near. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any saving Sebastian, unfortunately. I checked Sebastian for any signs of life and found nothing. However, his body was still warm. Raza was here very recently, but he hadn't used the portal just yet. Why? Sebastian's guard post was not just for the portal itself, but also the surrounding area. Since Raza was already here, he probably had some unfinished business very close by. The underground building. The administrator had told me all about the prowess of the generators within. It probably hadn't been hard for Raza to guess the same, or to try stealing them from a place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. He also didn't have far to go from the portal. All things considered, it was the only option that made sense to me. I could have waited for Raza here, but in the end I decided it would be better to meet him underground. If there was going to be a confrontation, I was sure I would have the advantage in a more crowded space. Even in the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry, as it was in a roped-off area that I had seen from afar before. When I entered the building, I was met by a long, illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Since the lights were already on, Raza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since its generators were also powering the portal. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Raza, carrying a large cardboard box. When he spotted me, he sat it on the ground. Prince, you're here. You don't know how glad I am to see you. I've wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried to contact you, but I couldn't with someone tailing you the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this and let's get out of here. No. No? What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions. You want to talk now? Sure, why not? We've probably got a few hours if we wanted to. None of them will disturb us here. We could even get the backup generators as well after we send this one over. When did you realize we were in the past? How did you know about the comet? I've known for a while. That's why I wanted to talk with you about when we met at the portal. How about you? I only recently found out. Looking back, it just seems so obvious to me now. I'm not sure how exactly you figured it out, but there are so many damn clues when you think about it. I mean, how could a supposedly completely different, independent civilization speak the same language as us? What was this supposed to be? An alternate reality? No, it was just a different time. When was there ever anything resembling these creatures on Earth? It's not hard to make the jump from dragons to dinosaurs when some of them here look pretty damn near identical to dinosaurs we knew about. And then there were also the prehistoric fruits, the plants, and the fact that their technological level is nearly exactly the same as our own past society. But we don't even have to think that abstract. You just needed to look at the sky. The sun, the moon, even the stars are the same. Constellations change over time, of course, but you know we could account for that stuff. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky and how it would change its position day after day. Are you done being condescending? I guess so. You killed those dragons, Raza. What a brilliant deduction, Sherlock. Why did you do it? Do you really need me to spell it out? I thought better of you. After I found out the truth about this place, I knew just waiting for the generators we were owed was not an option anymore. It would have taken who knows how long, but I didn't intend to stay a day longer than necessary. You wouldn't believe how hard it was for me to acquire some generators. Some of the dragons didn't go down easily. But who cares if they got back the generators I stole? With just this one, we won't need any of the others. How could you do this? How could I do this? Let me ask you this. What harm is there really in taking their generators when their whole civilization will be gone in a few weeks anyway? The ones I killed just died a little earlier than scheduled. Even if that creep hadn't shown up and interrupted our meeting, we wouldn't have had the time for them to make the generators for us. How about we don't let them all die? They aren't going to be extinct anytime soon, if that's what you're concerned about. I paid the hatchery another visit before I came here. With the right persuasion, I think we'll have plenty of reasons to keep at least some of them around. Bodyguards, border patrols, weapons, even as pets or companions as long as we make the necessary changes. See, it's not as bad as you might think. I'm not going to just abandon them like that, only for their whole civilization to be wiped out. Get your priorities straight, Prince. Next, you'd rather starve because you suddenly empathize with a steak, and you're not satisfied just starving by yourself. No, you're going to let us all starve, because you want to impose your morals on everyone. Since when do you think that you get to have any say in this? You know why you're here. What you're proposing is treason, and you know the consequence. Personally, I don't mind if you want to stay here. You know, I don't care about corporal punishment. Just let me through and you can do whatever you wish. I can't do that, Raza. Oh, I see how it is. They've told you they need this generator to stop the comet, huh? And now you've become their lackey. Don't tell me you've been drinking up what they've been telling you. You know they have as much of a vested interest in this whole thing as humanity does, that I and you do, or at least used to. Do you think they wouldn't do the same thing if it was their families on the line instead of ours? Their entire world is on the line here. They live in perfect harmony with their perfect green energy source and no reason for wars or conflicts. Yada yada yada. We had that too. And you know what happened then? Of course you do. This is such an idiotic trope, you know. Random person meets weird natives, learns their ways, and then ends up saving them. What do they need you for, huh? Maybe they're going to be extinct for a reason if they can't even save themselves. You know of our suffering, yet we'll let them have it? I don't care what happens to them. But unlike you, I was at least trying to save humanity. At any cost. We have the solution right here. And you want to get philosophical now? Don't you think we deserve it? They've had it for who knows how long. Now it's time for us. Not like this. Do you think I like it? If there was a different way, I wouldn't have spent the last few weeks doing what you didn't. We don't live in this fairy tale world of yours where there's a perfect solution to everything. You should know that. Just being here for a few weeks must have messed you up. I think I know why. You got too used to all the comforts they have here. You actually don't care if they all die back home, do you? As long as you can stay here in this perfect little world of yours, you have discarded everything and everyone back home and replaced it with this. Maybe it is because you don't have a life back home. I can even understand that a little. Of course, it would be nice to just stay here where they have everything that we don't. But being here also reminded me of everything I hated about our world as it used to be. The pettiness and the politics. Say about the solar flare what you want, but it leveled the playing field and gave people like us a chance to make a difference. For all of our efforts, what did we get? A vote that was meaningless in a sea of stupidity and lies. Now everyone has to pull their own weight. We make the rules. You, of all people, should understand. Of course, they wouldn't. They haven't experienced how it is to live like we do now, to see the world burn and everyone you know die around you. And because I have, I won't let the same thing happen to them. How many do you think died back home just in the 2 weeks you've been here because we don't have power for the hospital, huh? Do you think those victims aren't worth mentioning, or you just care about the few dragons I killed? Our city is the last bastion of a civilized society in a world where nothing else is left. Maybe you have forgotten about them, but I haven't. How many of us do you think will still be there in a month, a year, or are they just a statistic to you? The same could be said for the dragons. What do you want to do? Talk me down from doing this? And then what? It's too late anyway. You think they're just going to let us go after what I've done? Fat chance. Whatever you may think, you'll find that our leaders back home agree with my course of action. Why are you telling me this? Because I expect you to join me. That's not going to happen. And you call yourself an ambassador. This generator is the only thing we need for our city to survive. How can you even argue about this? The dragons also need that generator, and I'll do what is necessary to stop you if I have to. So, that makes you judge, jury, and executioner. What a wonderful set of morals you have there, Prince. We only need to wait until the comet has passed safely. You think you can stop the comet, and you need this generator to do that? Sure, and if your plan fails, then not only is this world gone, but we also lose any and all hope to save our own. We are so close now. We can't risk anything by waiting for your crazy plan when back home they are dying by the minute. I will not let you. You only want to save your own two-faced hide because you don't want to face the consequences of what you did. Why are you laughing about this? Because it's a joke. It must be. I'm the one with the gun, and you thought you could just waltz in here and lecture me. Listening to you was fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't stop me now anyway. Maybe I can. Suddenly, Maverick and Remy appeared next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Prince? Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go and I'll forget this thing ever happened. I've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Raza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Ship champagne in your nice apartment? Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity. Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Raza. No, they belong to me. Confused, Raza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking towards him. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. Mortified by the display before me, I found myself unable to move as the events of the following seconds unfolded before my eyes. Raza was quick with his gun and shot Remy once before Maverick could charge him. Maverick pounced, snarling, and knocked Raza to the ground before embedding his teeth into the body before him. Despite his thrashing and screaming, Raza managed to find his target and pulled the trigger twice. Immediately, the jaws dislodged. Raza pulled himself a few feet away, while Maverick's body convulsed uncontrollably. Holding his bleeding wound and breathing heavily, Raza looked at me. "You're not going to help me, are you? Then it is futile." He raised his gun, aiming at me while I regained my composure and tried to run. A single gunshot resounded through the hallway, and as soon as I heard it, a sharp pain shot through my back. I fell to the ground immediately. He continued pulling the trigger, but no more bullets came. After a few seconds of silence, I slowly turned around. Raza was leaning against the wall, his head slumped forward lifelessly. Damn, this is an even worse ending than the other two endings. Maverick and the Administrator, both lying in a pool of their own blood, were not moving. I crawled over to Remy and was glad to hear him breathing. He had been hit in the side, and I saw blood trickling from the wound onto the ground below him. He raised his head, looking at me with an expression of pain. "You're wounded." "So are you." "We need to stop the bleeding." I put some pressure on his wound, momentarily halting the blood that was trickling down his body. "Can you do this?" "Let me try." He felt around his side, trying to get the right grip before he applied pressure on his own. I let go, and after a bit of adjustment, Remy could stop the bleeding on his own for now. I took off my shirt and briefly considered whether I would be able to use it to dress Remy's wound, but I soon realized it was not long enough to wrap around him properly. Besides, if he couldn't walk for now, it would not make a difference anyway, and he would have to stay here while he held his wound shut. Instead, I used the shirt to curb my own bleeding, folding it and wrapping it around my abdomen tightly. "Look, Raza is gone, and that other person." Remy was right. Both Raza and the Administrator were gone. "You have to go. Go and stop Raza. I need to find you some help first. I can't just leave you like this." "Don't you dare tell me you would be doing me any favors by saving me. If it's just going to be one of us, I don't want it to be me. You don't know how it is to live every day as I have, always wondering if the pain will ever stop or if things will ever change again. And when they finally do, you come along and tell me this. Don't do that to me. I'm not going through this again. What do you want me to do? This is bigger than us, bigger than me. Just go. Go and stop Raza. All right." I hobbled to my feet and made my way back outside. In the distance near the portal, I saw Raza and something that was standing between them. As I drew near, I recognized it was Vera who was growling at him. Raza aimed a kick at her, only to lose his balance and fall when she bit and held onto his skin. After he fought her off with a few kicks, his hand dove into his pocket to grab a few bullets, which he proceeded to load into his revolver. I went as fast as I could, but with my injuries I had no chance to stop him as he aimed at Vera. Slowly, he got up again and walked over to the portal's controls when the Administrator suddenly appeared behind him. Immediately, she was on him, throwing him to the ground before starting to pound his head with her fists. Together, they rolled down the slope of the small hill on which the portal stood. When they came to a halt, the fight resumed. There was a flurry of fists, and suddenly I heard the distinct sound of a gunshot, after which the Administrator slumped and fell. Eventually, I arrived, only to be able to confirm that both of them were dead. I went up to the portal and examined Vera for any signs of life. I found none. When I looked up again, I saw Remy looking at me with a pained expression. I stepped away, giving him some space as he stepped up to the small corpse. Wow. "Were you looking for me? Did you sneak out again? Poor girl." He enveloped her as his tears started raining down on the small body. Soon, more help arrived. Remy and I got all the medical attention we needed. Besides those we already knew to be dead, it was also too late for Maverick. I warned them about the comet, telling them to check the PDAs I had given them for verification of my claims. A few minutes later, EMTs arrived and I was put into an artificial coma due to my injuries. In the weeks I was out, a variety of things happened. After everything that had taken place, negotiations were fierce between humanity and the dragons. Out of respect, Raz's body was returned to humanity through the portal. While his actions had shattered all goodwill on the dragon's side, Raz's wounds did their job to do the same for humanity. I, too, was to be returned to humanity, but as my condition didn't allow it, humanity took the dragon's refusal to transfer me as a sign they were keeping me as a hostage. I wasn't a priority for humanity, though, a fact I was aware of well before I arrived in this world. As far as they were concerned, Raza and I had our chance, and the results weren't pretty. Ultimately, the dragons decided to return the PDAs before all contact was cut. Luckily, my claims were taken seriously, and there was already a plan in place to divert the comet. While they would have to use the lab's generators to do it, humanity decided to use their portal's power source to support their slowly failing city for a while longer as they looked for other, more long-term solutions. After I awoke from my coma, I had to consider my options. While the dragons were able to create a new power source for the portal, I wouldn't have known how to send myself back to humanity, as their portal was already deactivated, at least not without the expertise of the dead administrator. The only coordinates remaining in the portal were those she left as a last resort. It turned out they were to send someone back in time to the day I arrived here. As soon as I could, I met with Remy, who told me about everything I had missed. So, the comet has been diverted, and you've replaced the power source for the portal? I guess I must have been gone for a long time. A few weeks, yes. What will you do now? I could use the portal to return to the day of my arrival. After all, I came here to save our dying city, which is something I failed to do. But you saved us. That is true, but I can't help thinking that there could have been a diplomatic solution, if I just hadn't been in a coma during the negotiations. Whatever you want to do now, you can be sure that you'll have the Consul's support. You could just stay here if you wanted to. I bet you wouldn't mind that, would you? You know how I am. Humans just fascinate me. This isn't just about me, though. Of course, I would love it if you stayed with us, but I know there are many other factors at play here, and that it won't be an easy decision for you to make. Don't let me stop you from going back if that's what you want to do, though. I'll be fine. Are you sure about that? Yes. After all, I'm not alone anymore. In the last few weeks, I spent a lot of time with Odine, and I'd say we're pretty good friends now. As sad as it is what happened with Vera, there's another girl at the orphanage who've been taken care of pretty often. Maybe you've seen her. Her name is Amelia, and she's just the sweetest little girl. Besides, if you really end up going back in time, I'll see you again. Alright, and that is the end of Remy's good ending. That was actually the longest so far. I think that was definitely the longest one. Okay, so my plan is the next time I pick up this game again, I've got two more endings, two more characters that I need to go through in order to get to the finale. So I can either go with Lorem or Bryce. So I'll probably do Lorem next, because I really haven't had much experience with that character at all, really. So that could be interesting to see what he's all about. I know he's working on some kind of like game in this story or something, so we'll see what that's all about and see if anything comes of that. And yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that I got through Remy's ending. So that did seem to be the case. It was just those slight little things that I didn't know about and didn't go through that prevented me from getting his ending. But that's 3 of 5 of the characters that we've now gone through and seen their good ending. Once again, this was a good ending for the dragons and not so much for the humans. So I am going to leave it off here. This was a success, for sure. You have seen Remy's good ending. Alright, Casualties of War. Alright, so there we go. We got another character on the title screen here. There's only a couple left to get. Alright, so let's go ahead and start again. And I'm going to be leaving the stream off here. Until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed my narration of the characters, my voice acting. I really enjoyed doing this. Remy was definitely the cringiest, I would say, of all the characters. Just in terms of, you know, the way he was acting towards us. He was clearly gay for us. It just didn't seem... it was even more weird because, like, you're not even the same species. Like, how would that even... Oh, man, that's all the way messed up. But, we got the ending, so I'm happy. Let's save in a new save slot. And until next time, thank you guys for watching. Take care.